I listened through the story time thing again and was, just trying to absorb that. And yeah, that was really cool. So that was more of like a collaborative thing you did. I think you wrote the music for it and then brought in like, whoever you wanted felt would work for the songs. I'm right.
Yeah, it's an on-running thing. So I'm more of a composer than a songwriter. I struggle with writing lyrics and writing vocal melodies, but I can write thousands of melodies that work with a song. I've just never had the ability to kind of translate them to vocals, which is why it's wonderful having a partner like Kyle, who everything with him is a vocal approach. That's just what he is, from singer-songwriter, like showcases and choral works in high school through college to, just the singer-songwriter acoustic stuff. So Story Hour started out with a lot of songs that I've had just fully built out and fully written for years. And each one of the songs on Volume 1 kind of map a pretty critical moment in my life where there was either a substantial change or just something impactful happened. And so when I got the idea of going after different vocalists, so I laid the scenery, it's their job to tell the story, it really started as a trial for me can I write with knowing that I'm leaving plenty of room for a vocalist, and especially with my mixes and the way that I was approaching the arrangement. And the other side of it is, can I write a song to a certain point and then hand it off and not be a micromanaging egomaniac like I normally am with my songs? Yeah. And so it turned into this really beautiful practice. And the song's theirs. They can do whatever they want for them. The money that I generate in revenue, which isn't much because it's hard as crap to make any money as a composer, let alone a musician. All the money that I make off of Story Hour just goes right into different charities. Story Hour Volume 1 goes to Luna's House and Bree 379, my two charities. I just split it equally. The next one, Volume 2 that I'm working on right now, I recently lost my best friend who is an amazing guitarist and knew nothing about music theory, nothing about the ins and outs of music, but would blow me away at writing and guitar playing. And he's just always inspiring. Me and him have maybe like 12 or 13 different tracks that we never did anything with. So I have all of his original guitar recordings, so I've pulled them back up, and this one's going to be more of an in memory of. And this one I've kind of given the artist a little bit more information on why I wrote the song, as opposed to Volume 1, where they were just given a title and the music. They didn't even have to keep the title. Brad changed his title, Newberry changed his title. All the other ones I think are the same.
Yeah.
So
kind of reminds me, like, when I was enrolled over, Joe would have, like, instrumentals that he had recorded. And and he would even have song titles with them, too. And I would I would listen to the song over and over again and just try to get into that headspace of where I thought he might have been, where he was writing it.
Right.
And a lot of times he'd be like, yeah, man, like, what you wrote, like, really, I feel like captured the emotion of that song, and I think that's quite and it's also an interesting test to, like, the person you're giving it to, like, to kind of see, because I know, like, a lot of the stuff I write, I kind of have an idea of where I want it to go, or I know I want to give it to this person and see what they're going to do it. Like, a lot of times I know, I'm going to go in with Tony and record this, so I'm going to leave room for that expansion, or I'm going to go in with this person, and, like, I feel like they're going to kind of, like, focus in on what it needs to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, so and you got, like, a killer lineup for the first one.
The first
I mean, like,
Dan,
Dan and Brad are both great singers, and then like Ainsley, Dana and Robin are all, like, amazing vocalists too. And
Robin gave me, like you were saying, is when you give the title and you try and put yourself in that mindset, Robin gave me my favorite vocal line out of any song. And, like, I have some big ones, like, there's a lot of Floyd songs that, like, this is the vocal. Division Bell. I have favorite vocal lines all over Division Bell. But leading up to, Robin gave me her mother's story, and she's opened up about it and talked about it before. She did on the MOG, and she did on our podcast as well. But her mother was passing away and was going through dementia. And I named the song Can't Get In, because when I wrote the song, it was a good friend of mine and Jan's struggling with drugs. We couldn't get through to him, and we knew he was going to die soon if he didn't stop anything. And eventually he did, but we had to kind of pull away and say, look, you need to figure this out on your own. We're here to help with whatever you need. But we just couldn't get through to him. And she put in, going into the second chorus, the last line of the verse is, the body that you once lived in speaks to the world I can't get in. And that's the only time that you hear the name of the song in it. And when I heard it, I was literally bawling. I had goosebumps on my arms. I called her immediately after, like, sobbing. I was like,
Yeah.
That is beautiful. That is the most amazing thing.
That's so cool, man. Like, I love the idea of it, and like every one of those songs I listened to, I was like, man, you hit the nail right on the head with the person you brought in and their writing.
Yeah, and that was the cool thing, to be able to take a step back. You know, I wrote the songs and I never had an idea of what I could do with them, and so as you know, developing Weatherly Productions, I'm leaning more towards the production mentality than the composer mentality, which I've always had the composer mentality. It's what I've been doing for the majority of my life. And so it was really cool to be able to go back through, and I researched everybody's catalog. I listened to everything that everybody did prior to see how they got to where they're at. And then I completely reproduced all of the songs specifically for them. And the third thing about those is that I wanted to push them. I wanted to give them something that would force them to step out of the box a little bit. And I think for the most part, it was there. Like Dan's track, Drifting Blame, like the amount of harmonies that he sent us, because he recorded his own vocals. We were in the middle of a pandemic when we did it. We recorded a couple were recorded at Deep End. And then I recorded Dana's, which I wasn't supposed to. After I turn over the music, I'm supposed to have a hands off.
Right.
I'm not supposed to hear the song until after Kyle's done with it. But it was really cool to see all the new elements that have now taken kind of place in those artists' future works. You know, some of the stuff that Dan's putting out now, that he's doing a lot of the recording on his own, the harmonies in it are just beautiful.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing Drifting Blame for the first time, being like, those are the harmonies that I want to hear Dan do. He's just got that wavering voice over the background that really fits to a lot of it.
Nice, man. Yeah, I've heard some of his new stuff, and it's great, and it's cool that he's kind of doing his own thing. I know he's always kind of had some kind of moniker.
Yeah.
But it's neat seeing him do the solo thing.